Okay, I'm back. Grubby me. Irritated again at the end of the day. You know, things happen here, they happen there, they piss you off, and I don't have a dog licking my toes to make me feel better today. He's outside, he's in timeout. So, we're gonna make shredded chicken tacos. My daughter wants to do a taco bar for my sister's birthday. We're gonna do braised beef and braised chicken shredded. I'll make pico. We're gonna make some Spanish rice, some special fiesta corn, and tres leches cake for afterward. But to prepare the meat, this is how you do it. This is how I do it. It all goes in the crock pot, so I'm not gonna actually sear it. I'm sure it's better if I sear it. There it goes. And I actually like to put a lot of beef in there. So I'm putting 2 of the chuck roasts. Marrow bones, these provide a ton of flavor and richness. So I'll shove those in there too. I don't have much room for anything else. Oof, my hands stink. Time to wash. Hang on. So I have some chopped up little veggies to put in here. Poblano pepper. I think all of this will reduce as it's cooking. Jalapenos. About 5-6 cloves of garlic. 1 onion cut into big pieces. Celery. Oof, I don't know if I have enough room. I might need to put it in another pot. Okay. Now for the peppers. So, anchos. I might need to get a bigger pot. If you see me take this out later in a bigger pot, you know what happened. And the ones I like are these guajillos. We'll add at least 3, maybe a couple of California chilies. Which may or may not be the same thing. I thought these were a little less smoky. Okay, let's see. It's like over the top. And a little apple cider vinegar, 1/4 cup. We'll do Mexican beer. And salt. Pepper. I smell the vinegar. I think everybody's steering clear of me. They know I'm irritated. Oregano. I think a bay leaf would be good. Where is it? Here's a bay leaf. Let's get this started. I'll start it. Bay leaf. I'm just gonna add a little bit of this better than bouillon beef flavor. Give a little extra beefiness. Although 2 chuck roasts might serve very well. So that is essentially the mixture. I'll try to be creative and fit it all in. I'm gonna let this cook, usually on low, for hours and hours and hours until you stick a fork in and it falls apart. I'll be back hopefully in a better mood. My lid fit. Very good, we'll be back. Okay, somebody reminded me what made me mad on the way in. Urgh, I'm mad again. So I'm gonna do the chicken. I don't have 2 crock pots, I'm gonna have to do it in this. And it's the same concept, I'm gonna make it the same way. Oh, there's oil warming up. In this case, I'll start salting and peppering it and browning it. nice and hot? Let's see. Ish. Let's give it a little bit more time. Got my chili peppers, onions, celery, minus whatever squeeze eating over here.
I cannot believe you.
All right, it's browning-ish. Starting to turn it over. Yeah, that's probably not ready yet. It'll work. All right. Ooh, that's not very brown. All right. This, we're going to add similar an onion, chopped rough, because it's going to be braised. Poblano pepper, jalapenos, celery minus what Steve ate, about 5 or 6 cloves of garlic. I actually seasoned it with salt, pepper, and oregano while I was doing that. And okay, video's on. A little, I'm gonna need to buy more apple cider vinegar. Same, probably a 1/4 cup. Bay leaf. Let's add some peppers. You can play, you can mix and match. I'm gonna add some California here. And I know it made more sense to put this in my beef chuck steak and the beer in this one, but I thought I had chicken stock and I don't, so I used it on this. It'll all work out in the end, I mean, really. And I will use some of this stock at the end to add to my rice. If you won't make it until tomorrow, but I'll show you. So I think that's about it. We're just gonna let this come to a boil, cover it, and then simmer it for hours. Again, pork tender. Ready, Freddy? Okay. So I have this chicken. I'm gonna start by shredding up the chicken. It's boiled down. In fact, my liquid really boiled down, and it should be, see how pretty that is? Shreddable. So, and it is. That's where I like to. This is how I know it's perfect. You should take your fork and just pull it apart. So, it's been cooling a few minutes. But I'm gonna do this, and this will form the base of our chicken tacos. Chicken nachos, chicken burritos, whatever you wanna do with it. We've got ingredients for all. And see how that's coming across? I have a bit more chicken. I think when you cook it enough, all of those connective tissue, tendons, fascia that is really hard and kind of indigestible, most of it just sort of melts down, and that's why you can pull meat apart. To me, that's when you're gonna get the best flavor too. So what I'm gonna do is finish separating the meat. Then I'm gonna try to strain out what's left of my liquid to use in my Spanish rice. And I'll tell you about that in a little bit. Okay, I shredded this up, and it needs the liquid. There's not a lot of liquid, so I'm gonna have to use it for meat. But it'll, again, the flavor from everything I put in there yesterday, the flavor from the chicken and all the spices and peppers is in here, so it's gonna flavor this. What I might have to do at the end after I get it all mixed up is taste it. Sometimes what needs to be done is you need to take another pot and put your liquid and your chicken in there and cook it, warm it up, and then determine what your final seasoning combination needs to be. Like, for example, does it need more salt? Does it need pepper? That sometimes I have to do at the end, just depending on how all of this turns out. But I'm just gonna strain this liquid. Like I said, there's not a lot. And my chicken, I don't want it to be dry. So I have another alternative for my Spanish rice, which I will be making. I'm just straining out all pieces of onion and garlic. Yep. Okay, next. The chuck roast that I was working on yesterday, I am about to check it out. I turned it off a little while ago to let it cool down. Lift that up. That looks nice, doesn't it? Ugh. Let's put this here. Now, I don't necessarily want these in my meat. Is there some place to put those? Maybe I'll put them in this bowl for now. Again, I want the meat and I want the stock. So there's my ancho chili, my guajillo chili. This is one of those. I'll leave the marrow and see what I can get out of there later. Looks my poblano, ancho, chili stems, celery. Ooh, there's a lot of this. And it's drizzly droopy. There's onion, celery, garlic. Oh, some meat came out of there. Big piece of garlic. Okay. So here's another chili pepper. I bet that's good for something else. Make a chili puree out of it. Let's see. Okay. I have my bowl. I have my fork. Oh, did you see that? Look. Let's see if let me just show you. Let's see. Look. See how that just pulls right out? That's the way you want it. Now shred it. Get a little preliminary taste. Might need a touch of salt. Again, when it cooks this much, all the little pieces of fat and connective tissue that hold your actual chunk of meat together, I'm gonna dissolve. It kind of turns into this gelatinous stuff sometimes when you shred it up and then you put it in the fridge and you take it out the next day. Like the stock looks really thick and gelatinous and viscous. That's what's causing it. Yeah, this thing is just completely falling apart. And it's beautiful. Let's see. Take that garlic out. Another piece. There's a little layer of fat. I don't like to put fat, the chunks, the visible pieces of fat in my meat. Let's see here. Now, it's just falling apart. It's beautiful. Okay. Let's keep shredding. Oh, there's another little layer of fat. Can I get rid of this? One thing that my family appreciates is that I do this, because if we go to a restaurant and we have like the same type of braised meat, short ribs, whatever it is, it's usually falling apart tender, but they don't take that out. And my family notices it and comments on their dislike. Let's see here. There's Thomas barking out there at somebody. You hear him? Okay. You get the gist. Okay. We are shredded. See? And oh, very good. But I don't eat it yet. And I want to keep it warm. So actually what I'm going to do is just put this. I took out most of my chunks, like my marrow bones, my big peppers. You saw me take those out. I'm gonna do is put the meat back in what's left of this cooking liquid. And I'm gonna turn my crock pot back on low, so I don't have to find another pot and reheat it later. And when I need it, oh, isn't that pretty? It's like a thick, beefy stew. And when I'm ready, that's what we do. Okay. Put that on one. Okay. Okay, so we're making, I was gonna go buy a Costco cake, but my daughter wanted to make Braised leches cake for my sister's birthday. And I had a lot going on, so I'm not fancy today. I'm using a box cake for that. But I'll show you how to put it together and make it Braised leches. So the first is a can of sweetened condensed milk. I should have got a spoon or a spatula. Let me grab one. There we go. I'll make it faster. So there's one milk. Braised leches means 3 milks. So there's the one. Is evaporated milk. Ooh, that's a little snob there. We'll throw that in there. Here's Steve outside moving the dog kennels. And the third is about half a cup of whipping cream, heavy whipping cream, non-whipped. So let's take my measure. I broke my container already. Okay. And yeah, hang on, I'm videoing. I'll be right there. Maybe about a teaspoon of vanilla. Whisk. Stir or whisk together to make it one nice uniform consistency emulsion. The one thing you can put out there is that avocado, which is on that. The rest, Tommy chewed up and is probably nothing. He gets bored. He's a working dog. He's supposed to chew something. Yeah, I have to go to the pet store and buy Tommy some indestructible chew toys. And then keep him delegated to a certain part of the yard where he can't tear up irrigation lines. Okay, so that's mixed. Now this is box cake, yellow box cake. It's been cooling, and so what I'm gonna do, those are the 3 milks. You can do this with Jello cake too. My mom did the Jello cake, which is really cool. Just poke holes all the way down, pretty uniformly, all across the cake. You can have fun, have your kids do it. I'm poking a lot of holes. The cake goes in a 13x9 like this, and it stays in there. You don't take it out. You just frost the top of it when you're all done, which will be the last thing I'll do. But for now, okay, that's good enough. I probably could have let it cool some more, but I'm in a hurry because I'm running out of time. So now you just pour your milks all over the top. Except, oh, it's just soaking in. Come on, let's go, babes. Let's get uniform. Oh. Isn't that pretty? Oh my gosh. So the melts are just gonna distribute in there. What I might do is just set this aside. I'm gonna cover it, put it in the fridge, and after it has sort of settled for a couple of hours, then I'll frost it. Hi, back again. Okay, so a couple of times my daughter has either bought or purchased or created, well, that's the same thing. Hi, back again. Okay, I need to fix myself. A couple of times my daughter has either bought or made a corn dish. It's very spicy. It's not just plain corn, like Mexican corn. I don't remember what the other names were. So we decided to try to create one for my sister's birthday. So what we have, I'm gonna try to make it. What we have, I took corn on the cob, oiled it up, roasted it. So now it's kind of nice and slightly charred. Where's my bowl? I have a handy bowl. Take this. I have some other ingredients I'll show you, but this, you just cover these with oil and put them in the oven for about 400 degrees, maybe about an hour, until they're kind of lightly charred like this. Now you hold it with one hand and you gently just go down with the knife like this. Part of my corn's ending up in the sink. But I learned how to do this when I was a little girl. When we would make our, what we call the green corn tamales, so my dad would go out and find non-sweet white corn. Usually there were people on the side of the road that would sell it. You buy dozens of ears, clean it up, pick out the worms. There were always worms. And then do this before you cook it. And then use the corn to make the masa. See how pretty that looks? Okay, let's do this. I have a few more ears to go. I have technically at least 11 more. So I'm gonna do this and then I'll come back and we'll talk about the next steps to put our dish together. Okay, I'm back. Status post intervention for something that the dogs did. I've got one that shits everywhere and one that chews everything up. And I'm trying to control them, but they're irritating me. Okay. Taken care of, hands washed, I'm sanitary. Let's put our rice dish together. So that was about 12 kernels of corn. I think I made 15. William wants a few just for himself. So we'll do that. Put our shaved corn here. I'm trying to think of the spices that I tasted in that last one that were really outstanding. You could probably do several things and have it really tasty. This one I tasted a little bit more of the smoky. So, what I have here is 1 container of shredded queso fresco. Throw all of that in there. And I have 1 can of hatch chilies. One recipe I saw called for jalapenos, but I don't think I need the heat. And actually, speaking about those green corn tamales that we used to make when I was a little girl, we always cleaned out the worms and what was around it. We never got really sick because we would shave off the rest of the corn and then grind it up. Oh, there's a whole can. Grind it, mix it with other things, I don't know, salt, lard, whatever. Then you'd lay it out on your corn husk. You'd put some of these hatched green chilies and cheese, wrap it up, cook it. We would make like 12, 15 dozen at a time for our family just to last for the year. Okay, now what I have back here is some cilantro. And I think it might be good to do the juice of a lemon, a lime. You could use a lemon. I always prefer lime with Mexican food because everything I always grew up with had lime. And we'd go to, so I'll just squeeze 1 lime in here. We'd go to Mexico. We'd go to Nogales as a little girl. My dad would get these gallon jugs of pickled jalapenos, and we'd get little galletas and chicles and all this other stuff. They always had kids on the side of the road selling lime. So I think about Mexican citrus, I think of lime. Okay, I'm going to just start by stirring this up. What I tasted yesterday, the other day, was a little bit of smokiness. So I'm going to add a little bit of oregano. Not much because it's very strong. And a little bit of cumin. I tasted some smokiness from cumin. So I'm gonna add some. Again, I don't wanna overpower it. So I'm sprinkling, but if you had to guesstimate, it might be a pinch or an eighth of a teaspoon. Okay, first let's just stir this up. It probably needs salt and pepper, so let's get some pepper. Got my spices out for the Spanish rice. I'll tell you about that in a minute. It does probably need some salt. Let's start a little like half teaspoon first. And let's start sour cream. And there's a little bit of sour cream just to blend it all together. If you have Mexican crema, that would work beautifully as well. So we'll just throw in like a quarter cup. Not mayonnaise. Mayonnaise is not Mexican. I'm not sure if sour cream is. Grandma is, but sour cream's a good, what's the word? Substitute. All right. Let me just stir this up a bit. I might have to nuke it and warm it up just to get all the cream melted. Right now I'm just trying to mix it. Even texture all across. Will probably eliminate the need. Let's see. It does look really yummy. It probably needs more cumin with that much corn. Let's see. Grab a spoon and taste it. I think a little, just a little. I taste it. I think another lime. Let me throw another lime in there. And this rustic little squeezer, I think I bought from the Latin market in Jacksonville when I still lived there. I love that place. It was the closest thing to going to Nogales that I had in Jacksonville. Okay. Stir a little more. Someone's calling. Okay, status post intervention. Another one. My son had a nightmare last night. Something bad happened to one of his old teammates. He's on the high school football team, Ponte Vedra Sharks. So much fun. At any rate, turns out one of his old teammates died. I'll have to look at that later. That's the second friend he's known who's died from high school, which is so sad. These kids. At any rate, we'll find out more about that. Let me take a little taste. That's pretty good. I don't know if it needs anything. Just a quick warm up before dinner. It's not very warm. So what I'll probably do is nuke it for a few minutes to get all of this sort of melted and combined before everyone eats it. We'll have this with our Spanish rice and our taco bar. And then we'll have the tres leches cake for dessert, birthday celebration, saying happy birthday. And then we'll give my sister her gift. Doop. Doop. Technical error is what Steve always says. User error, that's me. He's laughing at me. I thought I was videoing and I wasn't. But then when I don't think I'm videoing, I'm videoing. I told you. Okay. So he's laughing at me because I'm... Okay. So now this is my Spanish rice. It's not called Mexican rice. If you go to a store, restaurant, they might call it Mexican rice. It's not Mexican rice. My mom made this for me literally 50 years ago. I grew up with this dish, and from the very beginning, we called it Spanish rice. So I'll show you as close as I can how we make it. Oops, she's calling. Okay, mom called. I don't know. They're coming. They're not here yet. Halfway here, maybe another hour. They're in Casa Grande. So they're coming from Tucson to Fountain Hills. You can take I-10 to 101, 202 to Beeline, straight up. And then you get to see Red Mountain, or what I love to call Fire Rock, which is gorgeous, and we're near the Salt River Indian Reservation. It's beautiful. I love it. So I'm warming up my pot. I'm going to make Spanish rice as close as I can remember and as close as I can mimic to what my mom used to make with the ingredients I have. I was going to use some of the stock from my chicken and some of the stock from my beef, but I actually didn't put much liquid in there, so there's not much liquid to take out without making that dry. So instead, I use chicken stock, bone stock, and then I have something in here called, I've used it before, it's called Better Than Bouillon. It's like a little bit of chicken stock that's super concentrated. I'll grab that. Okay, so this is warming up. I'm going to put some oil. My mom used to use vegetable oil, but actually avocado oil. I don't know if it has an avocado flavor, but if you look here, 14 grams of fat. Okay, we're not supposed to have fat. Only 2 grams are saturated fats, but you have 2 grams of polyunsaturated and 10 grams of unsaturated, monounsaturated. So the unsaturated fats are what you want for your arteries. So rather than like bacon or cheese, which I try to moderate, this is gonna be heart healthier. And if there's a flavor and it's an avocado flavor, that'll be fine because that's the dish. So what she used to do is take these onions and chop them up into really big pieces. And I have here three big cloves of garlic.
Mom, you need salt?
No, not yet. So the idea here is just to let those saute, flavor the oil, and then because garlic makes her gag if it's in anything bigger than a minuscule piece, I will take these out before I do the next step. To tell you the truth, the smell of the onion and garlic sauteing in here is so good. I know that I joke about the smell of it, and people have joked about it, but it's really true. Anybody who cooks or spends a lot of time in the kitchen knows exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, the onion here and the garlic, they're starting to brown a little bit, which is nice. Remember, you don't want your garlic to be black, so if I start to see it black, I'm taking it out immediately because I don't want it to get bitter. So right now, what it's doing is it's flavoring the oil. It's one of my mom's little tips and tricks. Still needs a little bit. Okay, we're having arguments, so we'll stop, and I'm going to take out the onion. It's beautiful. My mom never put that in her Spanish rice. You could, but again, these are big chunks that are just flavoring the oil, so the flavor is going to be there. And obviously that's a lot here in rice. So for now, I'm just taking this out. I might throw it in there. It'll be a little easier to get rid of.
Yeah.
Okay, so I took most of that out. Now the next step is to take some of the rice. Oh, I got a story. I was looking for rice. This is Zatarain. So my great-grandmother came from Spain, I think, maybe France, around the turn of the century. She's the mother of my grandfather, but her maiden name was Zatarain. So maybe I'm related. Who knows? So 2 cups into the same oil, and we're going to stir that up and toast it. While we figure out how tall William is, I think he's about 5'8". He just patted me on the head. Okay, my 13-year-old is 5'8½". I'm 6, which means I'm huge amongst the girls in the family. My grandmothers were both under 5 feet, so I had to do this to hug them. My mom's about 5'4", she was big. I have a couple of cousins that are 5'8". My grandfather was 6 foot apparently. But Steve's 6'2", so Brandon's 6'2", and I think William hasn't yet hit his growth spurt, but he's 5'8", and he's 13. We'll see. Okay, we're back. We're talking about, I think his last name is Funk, Funke. Still trying to figure out what happened to him. My rice, you see, is nice and toasted in the same oil. I don't have anything else in there, but it's pretty well toasted. So it's time to make it and then let it simmer. So my mom always added tomato sauce, and this I really like because it's a little spicy. It's a hot tomato sauce. And like I said, I don't have the stock from my meats because there wasn't a lot. I don't want to dry out my meat. So instead, I'm going to add chicken stock. I'm like a product person, aren't I? And I have to go like this. Just to make it a little better.
She's an aspiring actress. Look at her.
Shut up. I'm too fucking old for that. Okay, I am still trying to figure out how to cut this. Down here. Those Price is Right girls, like this when I was a kid, way back in the day.
I think I left a key in the home.
Ooh, okay. So this is a bone broth, which I assume will add.
Not good, so you walk up there and drive off the home.
No.
Well, we know where it is. Who's only like one.
Okay. It has a little red flavor. That's what gives it the red flavor. The red color.
Right there.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Let me go get the key out of the car.
Left. The Hummer downstairs, out in the neighborhood. Be in it. Okay. Now, flavorings and spices. So cumin. Remember, it's a little bit smoky, earthy. Ooh, we don't want a lot. That's probably enough. Oregano. We always add oregano. Everything. This is Mexican oregano. I don't know if there's a difference between Italian oregano and Mexican, but there it is. Salt. Pepper. Throw it in. You can taste your stock here in a minute to see if that's enough. I'm just adding in a little extra chili powder. I like smoked paprika. Let's throw in a little more smoke. Oh, Thomas is having a cow. Little sweet paprika. Oh, even though I added onion and garlic, I'm adding onion and garlic powder. I think those of us that didn't have a lot of money growing up when we didn't have a lot of fresh stuff, we use these powders. So you can make a lot of stuff with garlic and onion powder without using the full thing, without the full onion and garlic. Still have nice, good flavor. This is ancho chili powder. Okay. I'm going to do first is stir this up. You know, with rice, you have to bring it to a boil, cover it and simmer it for at least 20 minutes. Hopefully that'll be good and have all the flavors combined. First, what I'm going to do is give it a good mix and then taste my liquid. And that'll tell me how it's going to taste when it's all done. Oh, that's really good. Okay. So I don't think I have to do anything else to it right now. My mom, I think, used to put marrow bones in there. Ribs, that kind of thing. Anything to just flavor up the liquid because that flavors rice. It is starting to boil. You can see the little bubbles coming. Usually with rice, it's boil, cover, simmer, 20 minutes. Come back and look at it. Okay, I had this on the side. I completely forgot I was gonna add it. You know, it's my favorite ingredient to add to anything. They have so many varieties. I'm gonna add a big old scoop of this chicken better than bouillon and let it melt in there. And then we'll see. Okay, here we are. There was a random piece hanging up here. I tasted it and it was so good. Oh my gosh. This is where I pay homage to Sandra Lee. You still can make excellent food with prepackaged products. Just depends on what you can afford and what time you have. Okay.
Got a job for you.
So, whipped cream. I could do something fancy. I could make my own. I could throw vanilla. Right now I'm just throwing this right on top. And I want a lot of cream, so I'm gonna add 2. I have 2. Or maybe 1.5. We'll see.
I ask you to do something. I get this added.
We're having a lecture in the back. Can you hear it?
Can you not say that?
I'm videoing. Everything you're saying is on the video for posterity. Okay. So I'm just spreading this around. And then I thought you could actually do a little grated chocolate, a little chocolate powder sprinkled, sifted. That is so pretty. Isn't that beautiful? Okay. I think we were gonna do a little tiny sprinkle of cinnamon. Maybe not too much. There we go. That's a lot, isn't that right? Yeah. It'll work. Okay, that's your birthday cake.
You just dump that cinnamon in 2 spots.
I tried not to. I don't know if I can smush it out very easily. Maybe I can do this. We'll make it look intentionally mixed. Okay, Steve says Mr. Electrical Engineer said I dumped it. Which I was a little concerned about. So we don't have the cute little sprinkle look. That's a little more evenly distributed. Okay.
Look.
Okay. Figures. Most of our tortilla chips that we're supposed to use to dip in salsa and pico are gone. That was quick, so I'll make my own. I have tortillas, corn tortillas that I quartered. A pan we're warming up. We're gonna put some oil in there. We're gonna fry those. And that way if somebody wants nachos, they want more chips, whatever it is, we'll have some later. Okay, so my little pan here is nice and warm. Yes, it's cruddy. I cook a lot in it. Okay, you see the oil swirling in there? That means it's already hot. What I might do is throw a tiny little piece in there to see how hot it is. Not quite, okay. I'll give it some time. I have paper towels to drain, and I'll need salt to sprinkle on top when it comes out. Okay, I think it's warming up just enough now. There's my test piece. I'm going to throw in a few pieces, not too many at one time. I don't want them to stick. Maybe before. Give them a minute or 2. That's still cooking. That's my rice. That cheese shredded, pico made, cake in the fridge. Shredded beef, shredded chicken. I may have to warm up the chicken. The beef is in the warmer. I may have to warm up the chicken before we're done. Almost ready. And my corn dish is out there. It's not very dark yet, but it is getting crispy. So we'll shift it around and keep an eye on it. Keep watching. Maybe we're gonna have one in there, right? Let's see. Ashley is the oil browns. These will brown up a little more. They're coming out really crispy right now.
I cannot believe you, Mom.
What?
I just cannot believe you.
That's a video. Do you want to do the video? Give you a smile. There you go. Okay, that looks pretty crispy. Throw it on there. Like I said, the darker the oil gets, the darker the chips will get. Throw another one in there. And another one. And maybe another one. Here we go. Let's flip this one over. Throw another one in there. And we'll keep going. Okay, the other thing I've been doing is to take them out. See how cute that is? Nice and crispy. I've been salting them. I think that's the best time to salt them or season them is immediately after they come out of the oil. They come out so good. See how they're getting a little bit darker with the oil, and the longer it stays in there? I think that's okay, as long as they're crisp. As long as they don't look black and unappetizing. We're doing this, we're seasoning with salt. I could put pepper, other things. You could put paprika, garlic, whatever. I'm just doing a little salt because we're gonna have this with pico and maybe not. Can I just tell you, I just had one of these chips with my pico, which I made last night and put in the fridge. Better than any prepackaged potato chip you're gonna buy. Okay, there we go. It was probably about 6 tortilla chips. Fried, salt, a little bit of queso fresco, and cilantro. Now we'll dip them into the pico, and we'll Ashley tell us how they taste.
Oh.
Okay, she ran 35 minutes. She can tolerate a chip.
Yes, one chip.
All right, let's see. Thumbs up, thumbs up.
The saltiness with like the juiciness.
Very good. It's a hit. Okay, this was the inspiration for our corn. Let's see.
That's a good sign. Oh my god, it's so good. It's so flavorful. There's like spices in it.
Very good. I'm glad. That with the rice and our meat.
I'm gonna eat all
Our
of it.
tacos versus burritos versus nachos, and then our cake at the end. It's gonna be great. Everyone's gonna be so happy.
I'm gonna eat all of that if you don't give me a right now.
Beautiful. Grandma's gonna be shocked. There's that ass. No matter how skinny you get, it's never going away. That's genetic.
Good.
Just
I'll take
rest
it.
assured.
I'll take it.
You know, and back in my day, it was good to have no ass or a little flat
That's
ass.
weird.
That's why I try to have no ass,
You
but
look
it
like a
doesn't
little
work.
boy. You look like a little boy.
That wasn't the thing. Back in the
That's so
70s and
weird.
80s, you had a little ass. That's what you wanted. It's a different culture these days. Thank you,
is.
Kim Kardashian.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. Can you tell that I'm bored? I'm waiting for people to come eat. I've been doing this all day. So there's my chicken. I might have warmed that up. Where's this? There's my beef for the beef tacos slash burritos slash enchiladas slash nachos, whatever you want. Okay. Homemade chips. I can make more. My rice, let's see, it's still coming. Cheese, chips, homemade pico, and that's our cake right there.
Oh my.
Sorry, I forgot about Ashley's inspiration. Oh, there's Thomas. Hi, how are you? Waiting for food. I'll call it fiesta rice. There's Thomas waiting for anything. Where's Maya? Okay, Thomas is chew, Maya's poop. Where is she? Chew and poop. We're trying to figure out how to manage them. But they're so cute. Yes, they are. Where's Maya? Hey there, beautiful. Come here. You looking for food, aren't you? Yes, you are.